Hello and welcome to another episode on Fixing Nigeria. My name is Anu Ojo and I'm welcoming you, all of our viewers all over the world watching us today on Facebook and on YouTube. I want to say a welcome to you. Well, Fixing Nigeria is that unique program on Dr. Sunday Adelaja's platform that is devoted to our beloved country, Nigeria. If you're a Nigerian, this program would be of great benefit to you, but not only to Nigerians, because the subjects and the principles that are taught here would be relevant to every national, either you're from Asia, Europe, America, wherever you're from. What we're discussing, although peculiar to Nigerians, would be relevant to you in your nations. So I want to say welcome to everyone. Kindly share this link if you're watching us right now on Facebook, on your timeline. You could share this video to your friends. You could suggest this video to them also. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you could share this YouTube link on your social media platforms. I don't know how many of you were around last week and joined us in last episode, but last episode was an interesting one. We talked about something very close to the heart of almost every Nigerian, and that is entertainment. As a matter of fact, this is one thing that Nigerians have identified themselves with. We are known for music and entertainment, dancing, party, and all of that. If you missed last week's episode, we have a short snippet from it just to give you an idea of what we discussed. But if you want to watch the full episode, the way to do that is to go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel, which is Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube. Search for the playlist titled Fixing Nigeria, and you're going to see all our previous episodes on Fixing Nigeria. Now, let's take our time to watch a snippet from the last episode.
So I began to notice that it is like life for Nigerians right now is when they have to dance. Or when they have to do something funny. Yeah. And it's if when they lose their mind, when they need to think, their loss is boring.
Of course.
But when it's time to dance and to put some performance, something, they come alive.
Yeah.
And that is how I began to notice that all the weddings, all the celebrations, even burial. Even burial, somebody died. It is the dancing and the entertainment and the something, that is what they like, the performance, as if that is life for them.
Yeah.
So it means we have identified the animalistic nature to become our self-identity.
Exactly.
We have identified ourselves with the animalistic, instinctive nature of man.
Yeah.
You know, so this instinct, the reflexes that are not peculiar to humans, that are more peculiar to animals or to the lower humans. That is what we have now, embraced, and we have personalized them, and we have, we are now identifying with them as if that is our identity and who we are.
Yes.
But really, that is supposed to be the opposite. It is when it comes to thinking, innovation, invention, when it comes to reasoning, when it comes to creativity, those are the things that identify a man, a human being. A Homo sapiens is supposed to be identified and defined, not by how it could respond to stimuli. But what we have done right now is that we have made ourselves to be dependent on stimuli, and our responses to stimuli, we have now made that to become our true identity. So without stimulus, we are not we don't come alive. Without a stimulus, we can't function. Life is boring to us. So that's what I just noticed, that when it is even in church, when it is praise and worship time, everybody is jumping and gyrating and everything. But when it comes to thinking or functioning, we're just docile. We are off. Everything is just, but we are not. we are in trouble.
Yeah.
We have identified animalistic criteria, and we have identified animalistic attitude to become human attitude. That is number one problem. Number two problem is we have now embodied that and called that who we are.
Yeah.
That is catastrophe. We have made ourselves and branded ourselves as biomasses. We have defined ourselves as biological masses only, not as thinking human, not as Homo sapiens. Whereas a human is only human when he thinks. A person is only human when he reasons. It is the reasoning part of the man that makes him human being. It is not the gyrating, it's not the movement of the body, it is not the emotions, it is not the instinct, it is not the reflexes, it is not the stimuli that makes us to determine us to make us to be human. Anybody can do that. Any dog can do that. Any monkey can do that. Any cat can do that, and that is catastrophe. Because that is why entertainment has been promoted to become the cornerstone of our society. Exactly. Everybody wants to sing. Exactly. Everybody wants to dance. Everybody wants to do things that that are just cheap and surface. And even people who are supposed to be right thinking people, they are all waiting for a moment of reflexes and of instincts, and that is what has devoured us of functioning as total human. So you will see that productivity will be low, you will see that invention will be low, you will see that development will be low, you will see that technological growth will be low, you will see that industrialization will be low, you will see that anything that is called progress and civilization will be lacking behind, because we didn't push forward the reasoning senses, analytical mind, critical thinking, and innovative thinking, strategic thinking. We are not pushing those forward. We are not celebrating those. We are not putting those as our strength. We are not developing those, so we cannot compete with the world.
Of course.
There are people who have labeled us. In Ukraine here, they are nationalists, and in Europe in general, even historically, what Europeans used to label Africans as people, the only thing that they have is emotions, that they don't have brain, intellect. So they used to sell us and captivate Africans, sell Africans. The reason why they were selling Africans into slavery is because they had an argument that we don't see characteristics of human beings in them, that we don't see that they are human. They are subhuman. Why did they say we are subhuman? Because they said everything we see with them that they do is a manifestation of the flesh, is a manifestation of instinct. They sleep about, give birth to children, they dance during the day, they eat, and just have fun. That is all they do in Africa. They eat, they run about in the bush to kill something to eat, just like lions will do, tiger will do, hunt for what to eat, and survival instinct, the instinct to survive, the instinct to reproduce, and that's what they see.
And those are all animalistic.
And those are animalistic instincts. The instinct to eat, to survive, the instinct to reproduce, the instinct to just have fun, to play around. So they said these people cannot probably be human. And that is the reason they gave. I don't support them, and I don't say they are right, but those are the reasons they gave for slave trade. So now we ourselves are labeling ourselves. It's one thing for us to be labeled like this by outsiders, but when we ourselves have come to a place whereby we are now identifying ourselves with those vices and calling them our identity, that is when you know that we don't have a people, we don't have a nation. Our people need to wake up. Their senses need to be awakened. They need to be civilized. They need to be adjusted. They need to be corrected. They need to be repaired. Their minds need to be repaired. They need to be taught of what makes a human human. What makes a personality a personality. I have a book there. Where is that my book? Where are the heroes? Let the heroes arise. That's about personalities. We need to let our people know what it means to be a human being. Then I have another book. You have to show all the books that I'm going to mention today. And if you want to be human and you want to rise above your culture, you want to arise above your nation, you want to arise above the populace and above the socio-political area that you are growing up in, and you don't want to be labeled and be identified by vices and call it virtues, then you need to read this book. Number one, where are the heroes? Let heroes arise. Then look for another one, a man or a mouse. Then look for another one, I'm a person. Am I a personality? And then, of course, shallow-mindedness. This book that is here. Yeah. Read yourself of shallow-mindedness. And also Insulted by Ungodliness, the one that we also showed that this, I'm being insulted by this.
Well, dear viewers, the way to get the full episode, like I announced earlier, is to go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel, which is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Go there and you could search for the playlist titled Fixing Nigeria, and you can watch the full episode. Of course, I'm with Dr. Sunday Adelaja in the studio once again today. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing very well. You're welcome to today's episode.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last week was an interesting episode. We're addressing some fundamental issues with the Nigerian mindset, and what's sadly over the years we've defined ourselves to be. Today we're going a step further, and it's as though every episode we're moving one step further and trying to gain more grounds with Fixing Nigeria. Today we want to talk about psychophancy. And the title of today's episode is We Must Uproot Sycophancy from the Nigerian Psyche. I have some videos that I intend to show during the course of the program. But there's a viewer who asked us, who sent a question while we're watching the snippet. And the viewer said, addressing us, what are you guys doing? Are you trying to fix Nigeria virtually? And the person was saying, please come to Nigeria if you're, ready to fix Nigeria. What response or what reply would you like to give to that person?
I've already given a lot of replies to that, especially in my very last program with Balogo, or the one before then. I've already answered that question, that for you to say we are not doing anything is to say, because somebody said, I can't remember the question, the way the question was framed, but basically it's saying that, you are not doing anything or something like that. So I say, if I'm not doing anything, then it means that education doesn't matter. So because what schools are doing is what we are doing. It means that universities don't matter. It means that colleges don't matter. It means that all the places where we go to get education, to go to school, don't matter, because that's exactly what they do. And every revolution has to start with mental revolution. Everything starts with idea in this life. Everything starts with an idea. Idea is the locomotive of civilization. Idea is the motto of progress. Everything is all about idea. So everything starts with an idea. And what I'm giving out are ideas. And since I'm giving out ideas, ideas become material. So ideas become products. Ideas become services. Ideas become values. Ideas become exchange. Ideas become revolution. Everything starts with ideas. Even with God started everything with ideas. So it is all about, that is what I'm doing. I am planting the seed of ideas. And the second thing is that our people are so damaged mentally and in their values and their value system and their mentality and their thinking system, their thinking process. Everything is so damaged in that sense that we have to start the change of Nigeria with changing the values of Nigerians, with changing the mindset of Nigerians, and with changing the mindset and the value system and the bringing about transformation to the mind of the people, bringing about renewal to the mind of the people. So that is what we're starting with. It's even more important than physical changes that we're planning to bring. This is more important than building roads and building buildings. This is the intangible things, the virtual things that become material eventually. If we don't change the people and we are coming to build buildings, those same people we didn't change before building them buildings will tear down the buildings.
Sure.
If we don't change the people first and make their mind and their values to be changed and their mentality to be different, by the time you build road for them, they will run it out, they will run it down. So it is all about bringing about change in people first. Reorienting our nation, reorienting our people. So what are you people doing? That's what we are doing. Everything starts with a concept. Everything starts with ideas. Everything starts with ideology, philosophy. Everything starts with thoughts, ideas. So that is what we are bringing out there and we are releasing. And these ideas, these thoughts, these philosophies, these concepts that we are releasing here are already, they have already changed a whole lot of people, and they're changing people already, and they're going to change more people. And that is the basis upon which we will build the thing that is secondary. That is the economy, the politics, the social interaction of the people, the infrastructure, the amenities. Those will come upon the foundation of values, upon the foundation of virtues in the people. So where the real change we need in Nigeria is changing the content of character of Nigerians. That is what we are starting with. We are starting with changing the thing that makes Nigerians who they are today. We are changing the content of their inner man, the content of their inner being. Once we can change that, then we will have a new result. If we don't change the way people think, they will not be able to act differently. So once we change the way people think, then we'll be able to see them behave differently and build instead of tearing down. We'll be able to see them love instead of hating. Sure. We'll be able to see them protecting and preventing death instead of bringing about destruction and death. We will be able to see them do the opposite of what they are doing today. The same thing with the government. So what we are talking about, the talk, everything starts with talk, with idea, and ideas must be spoken out. So we have ideas and we are speaking the ideas out, and that is where everything then becomes flesh. The word becomes flesh. The word is what God started with. The word works with God. The word was God. The word was spoken. The word became flesh. So it is the word that became flesh. So the same thing we are doing. We are first of all starting with the word. We are releasing the word first. And when we release the word, that word will take upon flesh sooner or later. That word will take upon a material being, material resources, material manifestation. The words that we are speaking right now will become flesh one day, and that is when people will begin to see it. When everything was dark, much more worse than the way things are in Nigeria right now. In the beginning, in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, everything was dark and formless and shapeless and very catastrophic, very hopeless, totally bad, dark and void. The only way God started to fix the situation was even when there was nothing. Everything was empty. It was empty, it was dark, it was shapeless, it was formless, it was totally bad. God Almighty Himself had to resort to one solution, and the solution was to refer back to words. But before He spoke the word, He moved, He vibrated in the spirit, and that is in the world of ideas. He was vibrating in ideas. He was incubating ideas. So after finishing incubating ideas, then the ideas that have been incubated, they now had to release them into words And it was after the words were released that that word became flesh. So he said, for example, he said, let there be light. There was nothing like light before, but that was word he spoke. Let there be light. And when he said, let there be light, then eventually, we don't know how much time passed, but eventually that word became physical light that we could see. Exactly the same model that we are following here. We are, first of all, creating in the spirit realm, or in the idea realm, or in the incubation realm. In the incubation realm, we are creating a new Nigeria. In the realm of ideas, in the realm of thoughts, in the realm of spirit, in the realm of creation, creativity, in the realm of the world, we are creating a new Nigeria. And then we move from there to speaking the new Nigeria out. And that we know the next step will be the world will become flesh. And so look forward to that. But we have not yet finished speaking. God didn't just finish speaking life and physical world, physical realm into reality by just saying, let there be light. He spoke about light, he spoke about firmament, he spoke about this moon, he spoke about the sun, he spoke about the trees, he spoke about this soil, the land. So we keep on speaking until we are able to ideally or idealistically create the full picture of the new Nigeria that we're saying. Then afterwards, we'll begin to also move into the realm of bringing those things that we see in the spirit realm into the physical realm. So the word will become flesh sooner or later. Even if some of the words we are speaking right now, it might not be me who will be around to bring it to pass, but the young man that is sitting by me here, even though he's having the title of doctor and all that big title, but he's about half my age. He's even less than half my age. I am 52 and he's 25. So he's half my age right here. And so when I'm gone, long time when I'm gone, people like him and himself and people like him might be the ones that will bring to out and bring to pass some of the things that we are speaking right now. Or they will be the one to witness some of the things that I'm speaking out right now. So what is more important is to release the word, first of all, is to release the ideas. And then once the people have the ideas, they have the sketches. And when the sketches are there, the building process is the easier part, because the ideas are the more difficult ones.
Amazing. Well, that's what you get from Dr. Sunday. Very holistic, and I'm appreciative of that. I remember one of the things you always say, that it's not really about completing it or being the one to carry out the task, but you just have to initiate.
Yes.
You have to just trigger. And many of the things that you've been doing, and we've seen the effect. If we want to talk about the Elijah challenge that we have there, that book, I remember if we look at even the subject of today, talking about sycophancy, and maybe I will add another word, subserviency. We would see that over the years until recently, we had people that I would refer to as the sacred cows. These are the pastors, the bishops, that, no one could say a word, against them or to challenge them. But you came to the stage and you triggered something with the Elijah challenge, or even before you released the Elijah challenge, you came and you started talking about and started challenging these sacred cows and these untouchables. And guess what? Today, just anybody, if you go to the internet right now, just anybody, you don't have to even be a pastor. People are calling out pastors, people are calling out the Oyedekpos of this world, they are calling out the Adeboyes and saying, Oyedekpo, Adeboye, this what you're doing is wrong, and they are not dying. But factually speaking, you did that just for a couple of months and you're done with it. But you triggered something that is still very active today, till today. And
that couple of years. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying you did that the period of time you taught those series.
Yeah, because when you say couple, it means two. Couple of months.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. How long did you do the training?
Over a year.
Over a year. Okay.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. All right. So for almost a couple of years, you did that, but you've stopped.
Yeah.
That's my point. When you did that for some time, you stopped. Yeah. You already triggered something, and right now we're seeing the ripple effects of what you're doing. That also gives perspective to what we're doing on this show. That is about triggering. And we understand that there can't be any change in Nigeria if Nigerians have not changed their mindsets. And today we want to talk about something that is located deep in the psyche of Nigerians. Sadly, Nigerians are not conversant, or an average Nigerian is not conversant with the word sycophancy or subserviency. That sounds like a big word. But this is like a day-to-day experience and act that Nigerians undergo. So today,
they are not conversant, you said, with the word?
With the word sycophancy.
But they act it out.
But they act it, yeah. But they might not know the terminology. That's what I mean. So they might not know that they are sycophants. For example, if you go to the street and you tell an average person, okay, what you just did is an act of a sycophant. They're like, okay, I don't know what sycophancy means. So, but it's something that they act out daily. And that's why today we're going to try to give practical examples of what sycophancy means. And we want to talk about why we need to uproot this. So we'll talk about the effect, the devastating effect of sycophancy in the social and economic thrive or situation of our nation, and why we must uproot it. But the very first thing I want us to talk about is, Dr. Sunday, you have been talking, okay, let's start with your campaign for Buhari, President Buhari. Okay, so I remember going back to the very first tenure before Buhari came in, that was 2015, you campaigned rigorously for President Buhari. And even to this recent one, you also sort of campaigned for him. Yeah. And there were many Nigerians who were of the notion, or who concluded, that you were paid, or you had some sort of settlement, or some people were even calling you APC pastor, and you were settled for something. But that is an expression of what we're talking about today. Because a typical Nigerian, an average Nigerian, believes that the reason why Dr. Sunday will be doing what he's doing is because he has some ulterior motive, or because he's doing that, I mean, he's trying to just lick the butt of President Buhari to get some benefits. The first question I want to ask you is that when you get those kind of responses,
you are using that kind of word, leak something like that.
Or to
in this kind of program, you don't use. You are not thinking deep about that phrase you just used there.
Okay, I apologize for that. So you
don't use those kind of phrases.
Yeah, I apologize for that. So to just try to do something to get some benefit and some rewards from people, from somebody in power. But my question would be that when Nigerians respond or write, or maybe write this kind of comments to you, what goes on in your mind, and how do you relate to that kind of comments when they say, okay, you're doing this? What does it show? What does it reflect, or what do you get from that?
You must know that people say what they believe in. The reason why people say that is because they believe in it. Mm-hmm. So if they believe in it, it means that is who they are. So when I hear people say, Buhari has paid you, or you are APC pastor, or you are doing this for an ulterior motive, it shows me that that is who they are. They could be paid, they could be bought. It means that they could be compromised. It means that if they are in my position, they will demand money. It means they will demand a reward for what they are doing. It means that is the people that we have in Nigeria right now, who do things for what they could get. they don't believe in the world of ideas. It means that that is their life. They are conversant, they are more conversant, and they are more, that is what they are living in. That's where they are living in, what is in for me. So they are having that mindset about what is in there for me. And since that is who they are and how they are definitely relating that to me, thinking that I'm just like them, because that's what they know. They don't know what I know. They don't know the world that I'm coming from. They don't know that I'm coming from another world entirely, from another, belief system, from another worldview. Yes, from another worldview. I have another worldview. I have another paradigm where that doesn't even exist. I'm not even thinking, I'm not even suspecting anybody. Some people are saying Showore people who was always being paid, and now he criticize them, they're against. I'm not even thinking about that, because I'm not exposed to that world. I'm not aware if somebody is being paid or not, so I'm not even thinking about that. So it's not in my world, it's not in my vocabulary, I'm not even thinking in that sense. So when anybody comes up and says that, well, you are being paid is because you are being a sycophant to somebody, or because you are, you want to get favor, it only reveals to me who they are. So when I hear things like that, I say, okay, these are the people I'm dealing with. This is who they are. It means they will do just exactly what they are describing. They might not be aware of it themselves, but anytime you speak, you are really revealing yourself. Anytime you speak, you are revealing your belief system. Anytime you speak, you are revealing your mindset. Anytime you speak, you are revealing and unveiling something to us about who you are. So when people are speaking, they are commenting on my programs, on my videos. Anything they comment reveals to me who they are. Just they open their mouth and I just discover who they are. They open their mouth and I just discover who they are. They open their mouth and I just discover who they are. So that's what I think. I don't even think related to me, because they don't know me, so they cannot analyze me, but they are analyzing themselves.
Interesting.
So when I see that, it just opens my eyes more to see who I'm dealing with.
Weird. Wow, thank you for that. The next question I want to ask Dr. Sunday is, sycophancy is one of the vices that we have in Nigeria. What is the root? Where did that come from? Maybe you can add the word subserviency to it. So subserviency and sycophancy, where did that come? How did these two vices get ingrained into the Nigerian psyche?
It's pretty obvious. First of all, every human being likes to be praised and like to seek favor and things, so both the psychophant,
Funds, yeah.
The person who is doing it, sycophant.
Yeah, sycophant.
Sycophant
is the person who is
sycophant. Yeah, sycophant.
Yeah.
Both the sycophant and the person that is being worshipped, is natural. But in our own situation, like in Africa, what is the root of sycophancy, and what's the second word you are using?
Subservience.
Subservience, yeah. What's the root of subservience and sycophancy? The root is very easy. It's actually obvious. It's rooted in our system of. First of all, it starts with our belief system. But before I talk about our belief system, which is paganistic or paganism, let me talk more about what is more obvious to people. So let me say this thing is rooted in our monarchy, in our kings. So the way our kings, you see, kings in Africa, how do you greet them? How do you relate to them? Kings and monarchy in Africa is the embodiment of subservience, is the embodiment of sycophancy, is the embodiment of it. So that will, I want to use that one, that is secondary, but I want to start with the secondary before I go to the primary root. Okay. So when you see kings, the reason you see kings being worshipped And this happened all over the world. This happened not just in Africa, it happened all over the world. But in Africa, it is still maintained today.
Yeah.
In the rest of the world, it has been overthrown. But in Africa, it is still maintained. And the reason why we still have sycophancy on a high level of subservience is because it is still part of and parcel of our culture. That culture has not been challenged and it has not been dethroned. And the culture is, the presence, the heavy presence and influence of monarchies, of monarchs, of monarchy, of kings, of different kind of kings. Nigeria has more kings in our country. We have more kings than in any country in the world. We have more monarchs than in any country in the world. So that is part and parcel of the culture. And how do you treat monarchs? In most of our cultures, a monarch and a king is regarded as a deputy to God or a God's representative on the earth. So a monarch is looked at as God in the flesh or second to God or somebody that must be revered as a superhuman and super, favored human being. So somebody that is, elected, separated, superior. So, but whenever you have a king, all other people in that country, they are your subjects. Subjects are never equal to kings. So when you have a king, then all other people must be subjects. And how does a subject react to a king? The reaction of a subject to a king is to bow down, is to be subservient, is to be a sycophant,
Yeah.
and is to be, and also another issue is that when you are the king in traditionally is the owner of everything in his domain, including human beings. So any human being that is in that domain of that king is a property or a subject of the king. And if you are the subject of the king and everything you owe belongs to the king, including your wife and your children, everything belongs to the king. So the only thing you are left to do is to try your best to be subservient and to be as psychopathic as possible, before the king, so that you'll be able to receive favor. Because everything belongs to him. He owns everything. He possesses everything. And you possess nothing. And so if everything is in his hand, including your wife, so you are always trying to please him so that he doesn't take your wife. You are always trying to please him so that he doesn't send your children to the war, your sons to the war. You are always trying to please him so that he doesn't command that they should remove your head. You are always trying to please him so that he doesn't say you are rude to him. You are always trying to please and bow and be a sycophant before him so that he will be able to get his favor. So that is a huge part of our society up to today. The people will be living in poverty, they will be living in needs, and the king will be living in opulence. And even they will be still, the ones that are poor will still be taking the very little they have to them. And that is the model that the pastors have also adopted today. They are living like kings, and they are treating their church members like servants, like slaves, like subjects, exactly the way kings would have done. They are the same thing. So in Nigeria, that old feudal mindset is like feudalism that we are practicing, where there is an owner, a landowner. Feudalism means that the landowner, and the landowner is the owner of the people that are working in the land. So somebody owns property, a feudal owns property, owns the land, owns people, and all the people are working for him. And he is giving them favor, and then they are seeking favor from him all the time. So that is the old society that we have today. It's a society whereby it's no more the kings alone that own everybody in their domain and everything in their domain, but anybody that is successful in our society now, either is successful politically or financially or any way or religiously, he has power. Anybody that comes under him, he now assumes the position of king. So apart from 1,000 kings that we have, who are traditional rulers, we now have in everywhere, in every business, anybody successful businessman assumes the position of a king as well. And the people who are walking around him, he treats them like he is a feudal to them, and they are his subjects. The same thing if you are a pastor and you have church members, the pastors assume the position of a king and sit on the throne and make all their members subjects to them like their slave. They are the slave master, and these ones are their slaves. And they begin to treat them like the kings are being treated. They will be riding big cars, and all these people will be saying sa 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 to them, bowing down to them. Why? Because it is the same. So that mentality, that psychophancy has penetrated so deeply into the culture. Everybody is even dreaming of it. Everybody is trying to find a way to become a slave master, one way or the other, a feudal that will be able to command and own and have subjects under him. So the pastors are doing this, the mosque imams are doing this, the political leaders are doing this, the politicians, the political office holders, the kings, traditional kings themselves. So everybody that has a little bit of success anywhere is trying to dominate. So the whole culture now has assimilated this. The whole culture has embraced this as the way to flex their own muscles. So everybody is flexing his own muscle in his own little place. If everybody else must bow down to them. Instead of building an egalitarian society where everybody knows that we are all equal. Yes, you are my boss, I respect you, but you are not my lord. But with kings, you have your king is your lord. So even though you have, we are Christians, we say we are Christians, but the way we treat our pastors is like they are the Lord. The way we treat our kings is like they are the Lord. The way we treat our politicians is like they are the Lord. So they are the Lord. Lords means owners. They are the owners of all these people. So our country, therefore, is a country of owners and slaves. It's a country of monarchs and subjects. It's a country of feudals and, slave camps. So that is subjects and slaves. Yes. So that is the society that we have had right now, and that must be broken. That's why we have even people who are not kings and who are not politicians and who are not big bishops and pastors. Even if they just have a house alone, just house alone, they would like to have house help or house workers. They would like to have gate man, driver, house. These are citizens. In the West, you don't see those things. The reason is because you have to pay them high. They are there, but you have to pay them like they are. You have to respect them equally and pay them equally. But that's why they don't have too much of them in the West, because it's too expensive. Yeah. But in Africa, where people's lives are not respected at all, everybody that has any little thing, it must have its own subjects. So our whole country is a feudalistic country. It's a feudalistic country. It's a country of monarchs. It's a country of lords and of subjects and of slaves. And it's a big slave camp. So when people are telling me that they want to do Biafra or they want to do without changing the mindset of the people, they will just go and have their own wars domination under other people. This their own same people. It is the system, it is the psychology, it is the mindset, it is the worldview of our people that must be shaken to the roots. That is why I said I believe more in reconstruction rather than in restructuring. Because the people who are demanding for restructuring, they want to restructure so that they will have dominion again, so that they will be able to rule where they are. They want to become a monarch in their own area, in their own region. And so that they will be you subjects or you citizens, you will become their slaves again. They will be able to have total dominion over you. So it is not restructuring that we need. It is not restructuring? It is not restructuring that we need. It is reconstruction that we need. We need to reconstruct our mind. We need to reconstruct our belief system. We need to reconstruct our ideology. We need to reconstruct our worldview. We need to reconstruct our values. We need to, reorient the mindset of our nation. We need to be able to shake it to the root and uproot all this backward values that have been holding our people down all these years.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunday.
But I started with the secondary.
Yes.
So that is the secondary.
Yes.
But if you want, I will also talk about the primary reason that even led the kings to do that.
Good. You're going to, of course, you're going to get there. But I want to ask a question as regards culture. I've had a conversation, or I've had a series of conversations with people who really uphold, especially the Yoruba culture, and from their worldview and from their perspective, when it comes to culture, you don't change culture, you don't alter culture, you leave it as it has been, because I literally heard someone tell me that you can't be smarter than the people, or you can't be more intelligent than the people who created and started this culture. So, and I believe that could give an explanation as to why many of these cultures or wrong cultural beliefs and cultural practices have not been challenged today. What is your opinion about changing culture, challenging culture that has been over the ages, that especially when it comes to regions where they say this is how we do it, this is what our fathers have been doing, our great grandfathers, and we don't want to what's the word, take away the altar, what has been laid down, by the forefathers. What do you have to say about this?
Well, every culture evolves, and every culture undergoes changes. People who say that you cannot alter culture or change culture, it's either because they are not educated, or they are not informed, or they are ill-informed. They could either be uneducated, uninformed, or ill-informed. Or they are just being outrightly deceptive and hypocritical. Because when you talk about culture, that the things that our grandfathers used to do, well, our grandfathers used to kill twins. That was part of our culture. Why is it that there were no more killing twins? You can't change culture? Why was that changed? Our grandparents, when a king dies, they used to bury with them a number of subjects. Some of their subjects have to be buried with them. So why is it that is no more being practiced? And if you practice it, you are going to jail. Both you and your king are going to jail. So why did they change that culture? We don't change cultures? So why did that change? In our culture, we used to have it that when a husband, in Nigeria, some cultures, when a husband dies, they will bury the wife together with him. Why is it that you are no more doing that in your culture, my dear traditionalist, the believer in culture, owner of culture, faithful adherent of culture? Why is it that you are no more burying your? Why is it that your mother was not buried with her husband? Why is it that your grandmother was not buried with her husband? You go and try it, you will regret it. Why is it that in our culture, Yoruba culture, including Ijebu culture where I come from, if you have twins, either the two of them has to be killed or one has to be killed. So why is it that you are no more practicing that? In Benin culture, human sacrifice, just like Yoruba culture, Igbo culture, every culture that human sacrifice was a norm, especially if you violate some taboos of the king or of the land. They used to go and sacrifice you. Now they just push you out of the society and banish you. But go and ask your great-grandfather. They used to sacrifice them. They used to kill them. So why is it that they are no more doing that? So those sheep talks is for the gullibles. Those are the sheep talks for the gullible. Those are feebles to the gullibles. They can feed those feebles to the gullibles, but not to me, who is informed and well informed as well. So go and read tradition. Go and read history. And you will discover very fast that culture evolves. Not just in Africa, everywhere culture evolves. And what we need to do with our culture is to examine and see what is it in our culture that is progressive, and what is it in our culture that is regressive. We need to sit down, make analysis of the things we need to get rid of. And somebody must be bold enough to do that. Somebody must be bold enough to start that and state that and initiate that. Maybe we need to have a national conference of the Yoruba people, of the Egba people, of the Ijebu people, of the Igbo people, Rivers people, of the Port Harcourt people, of the Ogoni people, of the Ijo people, of the Benue people, Idoma people. You need to just come together, and we all need to sit down and say, what is this leading us to? What is the effect of this particular lifestyle? What is the effect of this particular belief system? What is the effect, or what are the effects of this particular practice? And what do these beliefs lead us to? What do they generate? What do they lead to? What do they give birth to? What are the fruits of these practices? And if we dictate that they are negative, we need to deny them and begin to, reorient and re-engineer the whole culture in the opposite direction. We have to say, this one is regressive, this one is not helping us, this one is taking us backward. Now, let us choose some of these things in the culture that are actually progressive, that are helpful, that are, that are progressive. And let's get the progressive ideas and promote them aggressively. And the ones that are regressive, let's get them also and, delete them also aggressively.
Amazing. Well, that is definitely a brilliant idea for us to have a seat and begin to analyze our culture.
If they will not do it, I will do it. I have too many in my work, in my hands to do. But we are going to do it because we want to change Nigeria.
Yeah.
We want to replace Nigeria. And culture is one of the things. If nobody will be bold enough to do it, we are going to initiate the revolution in that area as well.
All right. Let's go to the primary cause or the primary reason behind the sycophancy and subserviency in the psyche of our people.
Well, it started from, before it got to the kings, it started with the ignorance of our people. The ignorance that made us to be animist in nature, and animist in belief system. So the animism that we have brought into our culture has made us to believe that forces outside of man determine the fate and destiny of man.
Yeah.
That man himself does not determine his own destiny, but fate does, destiny does. And destiny is issued or decided by forces that are superior to man, forces that are outside of the man, and mainly forces of the gods. That it is the will and wishes and whims of the gods that man is supposed to carry out here on the earth. Therefore, since the gods are far from us, or the God Almighty is far from us, we need a way somehow to appease this God or these gods. We need a way to find the God Almighty. We need a pathway to Him. We need some middlemen. We need a way to be able to appease Him, or to find favor in His eyes. Since we are nobody, we can't do anything. We don't decide anything. So when rain falls and there is thunder, we come up with the animistic belief that that means there is a God that is behind that thunder. And then we call it the God of thunder. So when we go to the farm and we use cutlass and the cutlass cuts us, we say, oh, yeah, there is somebody we have offended. The God that is behind the cutlass, because the cutlass had the power to hurt man. So that means there is a God of iron Okay, so then all kind of stupid stuff. Then you go to the, there is rain season in Africa. So because of the overflow of water, then we have flood.
Lack of drainage system.
Yeah, because lack of drainage system leads to flood.
Yes.
And because the water is overflowing, we say, oh, the water is annoyed, or the God that is behind that water is annoyed. And so we had the Oshun, the god of waters. Or we say, oh, it is Mami water that is there. There is Mami water spirit that is, so it has to be appeased. So those are results of ignorance. And that, I have that book that is called The Mountain of Ignorance.
Yes.
So the mountain of ignorance in our people is what has led to sycophancy.
Yeah.
And I will tell you why. So because when the water overflows, you need to appease. You need to be going to beg the god of water and say, oh, the god of river, the god of water. That's a sycophancy right there.
Yeah.
You need to go and say, I'm not, we are not, please, so we are begging you, come and help us. So, the god of, that's a sycophancy right there.
Yeah.
But since God is far and gods are far, you need one powerful person that will have connection with that God that you are. And since that is where you find the kings. That is how our feudals and kings and monarchs came.
Yeah.
Because somebody will be there that is powerful enough, or that will organize a solution. That person becomes the king. So since you need is the representative of the gods. So the way you will treat the gods is the way you have to treat him. Then apart from the kings, then you have to have the babalawos, the priests. That is also powerful, also has connection. So you have to treat. So the people who are powerful, therefore become the worship agents. I mean, the symbolic agents that you have to worship. Because you need favor from them. They become objects of worship. They become objects of worship. So that's why the people who bring solution, just like the things that you see, anything that was that we couldn't understand, we worshipped. Anything that we couldn't comprehend, we couldn't control, we worshipped. So, but if anybody comes to control that thing, it is him that now we begin to worship. And that is what pastors have done too. So pastors have now come to sell themselves as the people who could control their situation. Your child was sick. You remember your child was sick and nobody could cure him. And it is this man that cured him. Now that person assumed that place of that God. You remember that water was overflowing, Mami water was there, and nobody was. But this person came, the Mami water opened to listen to him. So the worship that you are giving to Mami water, the same similar thing, he has to become an object of worship. So pastors and men of God have turned themselves into objects of worship because of that, and that's why they are selling themselves as miracle workers. Because the culture itself celebrates that anybody that is able to control their situation, what they couldn't control, becomes their God. Anybody that is able to bring solution where they couldn't find solution becomes their God. Just the same way, anything that brings catastrophe and pain that they couldn't understand and comprehend becomes their God as well. Now anything that controls that and brings solution becomes their God. That is animism and paganism. That gave birth to that is the primary reason that gave birth to sycophancy and what's the other one?
And subservience.
Subservience.
Wow. So this is a worldview thing. This is a mindset thing. This is something.
A worldview thing.
And
it's a mindset.
It's a mindset thing. And something interesting about this discussion is that this is something that people hardly talk about. And
people don't even think.
Or think
they
that
don't
far.
even think that deep.
That this is the solution, or this is the cause of the problem. I was in Nigeria, I think 3 months back, or 4 months thereabout, and I had conversations with some Nigerians, just trying to understand their own worldview and how they view the cause or the.
It's because of them that I wrote this book. No one is better than you. The priest is not better than you.
Yes.
The babalawo is not better than you. The king is not better than you. The monarch is not better than you. The kings, the obas are not better than you. No one. The pastor is not better than you. The bishop is not better than you. No one
It's better than
you.
Yeah.
That book needs to be in every secondary, primary,
Everywhere in it,
university.
Of course, I mean, Nigerians don't even believe this. Yeah, they
don't even believe that no one is better than them.
They won't even believe it.
Because the mindset, the worldview has been formulated over the years.
Yes. And I mean, when I was asking them this question, I was talking about, I mean, no one would even talk about this is a mindset issue, that we have problems with our mindset.
Okay.
Very few people would say, okay, like the way we think as Nigerians is wrong. Most times they just associate the problem with, okay, with government, poverty, lack of
Kosovo,
yeah. No problem.
How do we say no money in town?
Kosovo Nilu, yeah, you can say that. Kosovo Nlu. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because there's no money in town. No money in town.
Yeah. so that's what they see as the problem. And in medicine, we understand that there are symptoms and there are etiology, there are causes. And if you want to address a problem,
cause and effect.
Yeah, you must apply the principle of cause and effect. You must take due diligence and go down to
research,
do your research and analyze. And that's the reason why when we go to the hospital, the doctor doesn't just say, he has to diagnose you, and by diagnosing you, he's asking for some things. Okay, give me your some materials, your blood, and all of that. Let me analyze it. Let's check it and let's see, okay, where is the cause? And that's exactly what you were saying as regards the culture. So if we want to fix Nigeria as a nation, so let's say Nigeria has the cancer of subserviency or whatever, or maybe we don't know, but we see some symptoms. Okay, so the way to do it is we need to present our cultures like you said it. So let's present our culture the way you're going to present the blood to the doctor, and let's analyze it. Let's diagnose it. Let's check it. Okay, what is wrong with the culture? What is not helping us thus far? What has helped us thus far? What do we need to change? What do we need to bring in? Let's analyze some progressive societies. What have they implemented? How can we implement it here? What are the things that we need to change?
You see, now you understand why I needed to do the Elijah challenge. This book.
Of course, Pastor.
I needed to challenge the foundations and fundamentals of our society.
Yes.
Not just of the church, but of the society at large as well.
That's very true. But you know, Dr. Sunday, you made many references to the church. I want us to weigh in a little bit on the church now. And why I want us to weigh on the church is because, Nigerians are very, although I think right now it's changing, but Nigerians are very quick and swift to condemn politicians and the government officials. But I feel like one cancer that has destroyed the very fabric of our nation, sadly, is the church, which is supposed to be the pillar and foundation of the truth. We need to, just weigh in on this subject a little bit. Can we have the video of people kneeling down, worshiping their pastors, or a pastor that was coming in, and then we'll come back. Let's have that video.
So pastor has arrived.
The pastor has arrived, and everybody, every church member on their knees worshiping him.
They must not be indifferent.
No.
They must not be standing somewhere.
No. The God has arrived, like you said it.
God has arrived.
God has arrived. And this is the church
of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Where he has said it is freedom to freedom.
We are called. And he even calls us brothers.
I no more call you
slaves or servants, but I call you friends. Let's have the video if it's ready.
But we have to introduce the opposite.
Total opposite.
Somebody even told me that you cannot speak to Oyedepo or Adeboye standing on your feet. You have to be kneeling down. You should go to visit him in the office. I didn't even know that because I went to visit him. I was sitting down like him. I didn't even know they had a rule like that. Anyway, let's see.
Let's see the video, please.
Yeah?
They're on their knees.
Oh, they're right. They're on their knees. God has come.
They haven't seen this.
What about if it is Jesus?
They'll be rolling on this.
No, they might not even notice. They will be noticing the pastor, but not
Yeah,
this.
we will notice. That's true.
Because they already have that.
God already. See the man that's even opening the door.
Are you serious?
Look at how he's opening the door.
He has to slow down the door on his knee. And the guy just came. He's not even doing it
At all. He didn't even notice it.
He's just going inside. And people are even praying to him. Raising their hands. Pointing their hands. Praying to him. And the guy is just walking in. The choir is standing on the
Even the chef.
This was serious.
I mean, I don't know who this guy is, and I don't even want to know who he is. But factually speaking, Dr. Sunday, this is what you see, and they do it. I don't know if they really realize that. Well, we don't need to show the video again. It's not even important. But I don't know even if these pastors realize that this is absurd, and they broadcast it on their TV stations that okay, the arrival of the apostle of the man of God, and people are going on their knees, people are worshiping them.
Yeah, I saw the video when the wife of Suleiman
Yes.
entered into one church in Houston,
Texas,
America.
yes.
The same thing was happening. I saw another video when Suleiman himself arrived at one airport.
Yeah.
Even at the airport, people were falling down and worshiping. Or Adeboye also.
It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. And what I want us to discuss, I think we're good with the video, Elena. So what I want us to discuss is because you mentioned this book, No One is Better Than You.
No one.
Yeah. So this book, No One is Better Than You, why is it that the church, which should be the number one body that should even elevate this truth and propagate it to the rest of the society, have now turned around and has made one person better and the best, while every other person is subservient? So I'm the only one that is anointed, while you guys will need to come to tap from my anointing. I'm the only one who can heal, so you need to come and receive healing. Why? I know why, but my question is, why would it? How? Not the question of why, because you already explained why, but how do we get the church to begin to emphasize that really no one is better than you? That the pastors begin to tell their members, I'm not better than you. That you also can do what I'm doing.
For you to be able to do that, you must get to a place where you cannot lose, whereby you know that you cannot, nothing can be taken away from you. The reason why I could write this book is because I don't need anything from anybody. I don't need you to help me. I don't need your money. I don't need you to, I don't need anything from you. You must be self-sufficient first in God. Those people who are doing that, they are not self-sufficient. They are not self-sufficient financially, because what is even being preached in churches is that your crowd, your sheep or your members are the source of your financial freedom. So because they will tell you, even I used to know the preaching they do, they will say they are the sheep, and every shepherd must shave off the fur from the sheep, and that is how the shepherd eats.
Oh.
So you must be able to. So it is how much you are able to shave off and be able to remove money from them. They are responsible for your prosperity. Depends. So they will be telling people you have to give to the pastor, sow into the life of the pastor, because that is how you will be prosper. Really, they are really telling them that your prosperity is coming from you. So people are not self-sufficient. All these men of God, they don't believe in God. If they are believing in God, their faith in God should have made them to know that they don't need anything else and they don't need anybody else. They only need God. But also because they are short of ideas, they couldn't come up with original ideas that will make them to be sustainable. they couldn't sustain themselves. They cannot sustain themselves. Since they cannot sustain themselves, they need people to sustain them. That's why they are holding up to churches, congregation, miracles. They want to do things so that people will keep on. First of all, it is because of that sustenance, survival. Secondly, it's also because people don't want people don't want to lose what they already have. They don't want, so for you, them not to lose people who have come to them, so that people will not go, so that then they will start all over again. They have to come up with doctrines and ideologies to make those people worship them, so that once you begin to worship them, then you don't want to leave them. You cannot leave them. So they have their membership only growing or as big as possible for the rest of their lives. And their income and their respect and their honor is all tied to that. So it's human weakness. It's human weakness that has been turned into doctrine. It is human failure. It is failure of man that has been turned to hierarchy and to organizations and to structures. A system has been built around human weakness. A system has been built around human flaws. Human flaws has been institutionalized.
Wow.
So people have institutionalized their failures, their weaknesses, and their fears. Wow. And all of us human, we are fallible. We have our frailties. All of us are weak.
Yeah.
But the thing you shouldn't do with your weakness is that you shouldn't institutionalize your weakness. Every one of us is weak. I am a weak person. But if let's say I am weak in smoking, for example, and because I want to, because of my own weakness, I now say, because I smoke, then no, don't worry, everybody can smoke. That means I've now institutionalized my weakness. Just like in a church that everybody respects. Very sad. It's called Hillsong in Australia. Now that church has said that it is no problem to drink. You can drink, no problem. Just don't be drunk. People do things like this. Something that is a weakness in their own lives, so that people will not say, Pastor, why are you drinking? So let everybody just go drinking. Drinking is free. So everything. So they institutionalize. So we all have weaknesses. I'm familiar with human failures. We can all fail. We can all be weak, but we shouldn't institutionalize our weakness.
Beautiful. Good. The next, and which would be the final questions today.
And the same thing with fears. They have institutionalized their fears.
Okay.
And that's what we shouldn't do.
Good. The next question I want us to talk about is solution moving forward. So we've analyzed the cause, knowing the primary and secondary reason behind
all these questions you are bringing every week. And people would think that it doesn't mean that I've been preparing for this or something. No.
Of course not.
I just come and I don't know the question you will ask, how you will ask.
Yeah.
And I come and I just have to sit down
and answer my questions.
And answer your questions. And people will be thinking I have prepared for these things. How does it go? I don't even know what it will ask.
Yeah, of course. I come up with the topics. I come up with the question. I say, Dr. Sunday, you just sit and let me ask my question and you give answers to them. So I want us to talk about the solution to this. Moving forward, what do we need to do?
Solution is very simple. It's one way or the other. That's why we need, this knowledge. That is knowledge, right? It's a revolutionary knowledge. This book, no one is better than you.
Yeah.
We need to propagate it. Solution will only come when we spread the truth. When lies and non-truth are dominating and captivating people, enslaving people, there should be people who will arise and also push the other side of the thing. The truth, the knowledge, so that people don't keep on living in ignorance. So that is one solution. The second solution is, I want you to show the book Elijah Challenge. The second solution is connected with boldness. Somebody must come to break to uproot. In Jeremiah chapter 1, it says that I've called you to uproot and to cut down and destroy. And there are some, that is the Elijah challenge. That is the anointing there. You need to come out. Some people need to stand and come against the trends and come against the systems, and come against the paradigm shift, paradigm of the people, and come against the mindset, the worldview of the people. We must have revolutionary leaders who will, revolutionize through their activism, bring about new concepts and challenge. Cultures must be challenged. Norms must be challenged. Belief systems must be challenged. And all wrong foundations must be challenged. And we need bold people to do that. And that's why I wrote this other book, The Elijah Challenge.
Your response brings to mind someone who someone will say has taken the second route in Nigeria. Yes. And that's not that person. I think is an obvious person, Omoyele Sowore.
Yes.
So this is someone who is bold to challenge and to do all of that. Yes. But looking at the Nigerian terrain, and even with the recent happenings with him, it's like if you try to challenge things like this, you get silenced, or you just get something, you just go into thin air.
Well, we need more people like Sowore. By the time we have 1,000 people like that, or 10,000, or 1 billion people like that, then the system will not have any option but to shift.
So are you saying that because he is, as an individual, is trying to fight against the system, so that is why the system...
I think he just made a few mistakes. I think, first of all, he shouldn't have aligned himself with somebody who wants to use armed means to overthrow the government of Nigeria, to divide the country. With his association with Nnamdi Kanu, it has brought a lot of problems to him. That's number one. Number two, the fact that he wants to, unseat a true revolution, a constitutional government that has just been elected where he participated. So those are just a few mistakes he made. Those are wrong moves. So that his enemies and the government capitalized on those moves. Otherwise, his activism, his boldness, his what they call daring spirit, is welcome. It's a welcome occurrence. It's a welcome development in Nigeria. We need as many people like him as possible. It is a fresh of breath. It's a breath of fresh air in Nigerian politics. And but we need people like that, not just in politics, but in culture, in every sphere of life. The only thing that has brought him that problem is because his own is connected with politics. It is with politics that you have that kind of challenge. And to confront a system, you need a system. But he didn't build a system. He is just doing it as a personal individual. But a government is a system. So he needed to build a structure and a system to be able to confront another structural system. But the fact that he is showing Nigerians the example of dedication to a cause.
Yes.
And the need for individuals to arise to defend their civil rights. It is necessary and very commendable. So I think it's a champion of activism, and it's a champion of civil rights and civil liberty, an example that a lot of all Nigerians must follow, and especially Nigerian youth.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I just thought it was necessary I brought that up. Let me speak to our viewers right now. I want to give you the opportunity, if you're watching us right now. I'm sure I just have a feeling that the final question that I asked the Sunday about Sowore might interest a lot of people, and they will want to give their comments. But your comments are welcome, though. If you want to contribute to today's discussion, the way to do that is to search for Move Agents on Facebook Messenger, and write to us that you'd like to contribute to today's discussion. And we'll be more than happy to receive you, to call you, and to hear what you have to say. So the way to do that is to go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, that it ends with the S. So Move Agents, and write to us that you like to contribute, ask a question, or share your thoughts, and we would be happy to receive you. The books that you see on the screen, that is No One Is Better Than You, and the other one, the Elijah Challenge. These books and all of Dr. Sunday's books are available on Amazon. And if you are a subscriber of Amazon Kindle Unlimited, you have all of these books for free. So you could be a subscriber to read all of Dr. Sunday's books free of charge. And if you're in Nigeria and you want to order for Dr. Sunday's books, you want the hard copy, you want to have it in your hands right there, the way to do that is to go to dsabooksplanet.com. dsabooksplanet.com. If you go to this website, it's a beautiful website where you can order for any of the books that you want, and you will get it in Nigeria. So dsabooksplanet.com. And Dr. Sunday announced, I think earlier this week, that there is an HMT that's coming up in January. If you're interested, you could join. And also, if you're not aware, Dr. Sunday also has a free mentorship online. If you want to join the mentorship, that is, you have to go to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. And if you want to join the Nigerian transformation team, the way to do that is to go to sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria. We have a caller. Let's receive our first caller of the day. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening.
Speak louder, please, and speak into your device.
Yes, good evening, DSA. Good evening, Dr. Anojo. This is Adelaja Davidson.
Can you speak louder,
Sorry.
please?
Yeah, your voice is quite low.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better
It's
now.
got better.
Yes, this is Davidson calling from Nigeria.
Oh, wow, all the way from Nigeria.
Beautiful.
Yes, this is Davidson, Georgia, calling from Nigeria.
Oh,
All
he's
right.
the same Davidson.
Davidson, our Davidson.
We thought
yeah.
it was a new Davidson.
Yeah, he's our Davidson.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he went to Nigeria.
It's Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah, so DS, you can see what is going on in Nigeria, and at least you can hear, even if we are not watching.
Yeah.
So up till right now, up till this moment, you can still follow up with what is going on, what the DSS, agents are doing, and what the Boo-Boo, the Buhari administration, what they are doing in their own capacity. So I believe in the sanity of a nation, that you can actually decipher the variations, the independent variations that are supposed to be in our arms of government, including the invasion of government agencies into the judicial domain. So I believe you have been updated about the situations going on in Nigeria, and I would like to actually hear your clear opinion about this situation. Is it supposed to be what it is right now, or is I'm just confused, because as much as I understand that there's a side that says, okay, this guy is actually doing a lot in person of Buhari, that he's doing a lot, is trying to liberate Nigeria as a nation. There's a side that supports him on that, even though there's another side that believe that he's not really doing what is worth to be celebrated about. And I believe that when we talk about human rights, when we talk about civic responsibilities and human rights, I believe this is where, when citizens do not have clarity of their rights in the rule of law, even in the court of law, that is supposed to be a home of shield and protection for the citizens. And there are invasions like this, and all of these dramas are going on. I don't know what really means, what it implies. What would happen to a common man? This is chivalry that most people know, at least across the world. How about a common man, the son of nobody? So why do we have this situation? I would like to hear your clear perspective about this. So I understand that you and I are not on the same page when it comes to the fact of Buhari. So I've never been a supporter of Buhari, and I don't think on this earth I will be a supporter of Buhari. So I know we're not on the same page on that. but I would like to understand your clear perspective about this. Keep in mind also that we share the same belief system, at least similar. The center of our belief system is Jesus Christ, and I don't think in any way that Christ that we all believe in will be on this. If he were to witness this situation, that it would be on any side of Buhari or any side of wrong. In all sincerity, I would like to hear your clear perspective about this and the way forward from here. Thank you.
Did you hear the last question that Anu asked, though?
I caught up in between, so because I just came online.
Because I just spoke about it. I just spoke about Showore.
I would like to hear from you, please.
You didn't hear my answer about Showore. He asked me about Showore just now.
I heard your answer about Showore, but now it's not an answer about Showore that I want.
Okay.
I would like to hear from you on what your perspective is on the activities of these leaders who, I mean, we can see from their practice what they are doing right now. The rearrest of this guy Showore, the invasion of the court of law, and all sort of masked armed men shooting sporadically right there at the Federal High Court.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
So these are practical things. I mean,
thank you so much. Yeah, you are the owner of the questions today. So what does he want me to say?
So after I asked that question, I just knew that we're going to get some calls about Showore today, because that's like the heated topic debate right now or today. So I think he wants to get your perspective about the DSS and what they're doing, especially recently. They released him on bail yesterday based on the order from the court, and today they came to rearrest him while in the courts, invading into the court system. So he wants to know what's your perspective on all of those happenings.
I don't think they are interested in my perspective, and I don't think they will be happy about my perspective, because Nigerians are more susceptible to sentiments, emotions, and they want me to speak also in the heat of the emotion, and speak in line with the happenings of the hour. But what I would rather say is what I would rather do is to speak later on when all the emotions have cooled down. Because anything I say right now will be interpreted as either being in support or not being in support of one group or the other. The only thing I would need to say is that Showore is showing Nigeria and Nigerian youth and the future of Nigeria the example of citizens' active position. We need more people like that. We need as many people as possible like Showore. We need 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million people like him that have convictions, that have positions, that have the fighting spirit to be able to fight for what they believe. Now, what Showore is fighting for, I perfectly agree with. He's fighting for the good of Nigeria and for the good of Nigerians. And I think we're on the same line, on the same path with Showore on that. And I think we have the same passion to fight for a better Nigeria, and kudos to him. The methods are different. Even some of these methods I support, and I think we have to use them. But calling for a change or overthrowing of a constituted authority, that might be where we differ. So I might not agree with his method of calling for that kind of revolution. And I did a video before he was arrested. Before he was arrested, a month or two before he was arrested, I did a video that he will be arrested. just because of the methods he was using. I knew it was going to happen. So what is happening right now? Go and look at my video when I said Showore, the marriage, the income, what do I call it?
Two something bedfellows.
Yeah, the bedfellow, the two bedfellows, the inconvenient bedfellows of Showore and Nnamdi Kanu. And I said it there that with the kind of thing they are doing, he will be arrested. The other guy has run away, and he is in Nigeria. He went to Nigeria. I thought it will happen just because I know the way things. You know, if you have the experience that I have, you will have the foresight and be able to see. And I said this. You know, go and listen to that video. You will see that I've said it, and not just in that video. I said it. I said it in one of our conversations too. That by the time it happens, that the whole world will be making noise. I will be saying they will forget what led to it. And they will forget that even people like me have warned that this thing was going to happen. But after it happens, people will now be saying, oh, okay, these people are bad, these people. But we should also know that anything we do, we take responsibility for it. We should be responsible for our actions. So that is on that other hand. But the action of DSS, like I said, it's easy to just say, you know, they are bad, they are acting out of the against the rule of law, and then use that and wrap it up with Buhari, that this is Buhari doing it, this is Buhari's government, and it's the worst government in our history. People who know our history, they will know that it's not the worst government, even in the terms of the rule of law. What is the name of this Ogoni man, the writer that was?
Saruwiwa. Ben Saruwiwa.
Is it Ben?
Or
Ken Saruwiwa. Saruwiwa, yeah. No, now let's compare this to the situation with Ken Saruwiwa. With Ken Saruwiwa, it was Nigeria. That happened in Nigeria.
Yes.
And he was taken to court. They put a kangaroo judge there. They just, nobody even, no journalist, nothing. Maybe journalists were there for a few days. They just took the decision, took them to the back of somewhere, and it's not one person they killed. They killed not just that Saruwiwa. We were all talking about that Saruwiwa, but I think there were about 8 or 15 people that were killed. And they were the creme de la creme of Ogoni people. And nothing happened. That government continued until God intervened. So thank God that we are living in a democratic time now, and nothing like that is happening, because it's not as bad as that. And that's not the only situation. No. Look at Babangida. There was, did you know about Vatsa? General Vatsa. Okay, General Vatsa is used to be a childhood friend of Babangida. He took him, arrested him, also accused him of treason. The same thing that Ken Sirawawa was accused of. The same thing that Showore has been accused of now. The same thing that so that Vasta was accused. They just took him. He was not the only one too. With the whole team, they went and just killed all of them. These things have been happening in Nigeria when it comes to the question of treason. And then there is this coup. They said when this guy ran away, they call it something coup. Okay, there are a lot of stories, a lot of situations like this in Nigeria. So is the thing that is the Buhari government justified by what they are doing? No, what I've said doesn't justify them. But just because of the emotion of the hour, people could say, oh, this is the worst government. This is the, so you want him to kill him before something? No, I'm just saying that things are not really as bad as that. And the fact that he is arrested and he's been arrested and they are not listening to the court of law, those are troubling moments. But thank God it's not during the military time, and it's not as bad as even during the Obasanjo. There was something that happened with a village somewhere there, and Obasanjo sent a whole army. They wiped out the whole village, I don't think Buhari has done anything like that. Now, that all these things I'm saying don't justify Buhari.
Yeah, I think you have to make that point.
They don't justify his government. They don't justify his government. They don't justify him. But I think I will say what I've been thinking, as that I will not say. This thing that just happened in Nigeria now happens in America too. When Obama was in power, they had this place they call Guatemala. No, not Guatemala is a country. Guantanamo prison. You know, Guantanamo prison in Cuba, in the Cuba area, where they put terrorists. It was not Obama, Bush Jr. You know, they caught terrorists and put these terrorists in some prison, some island somewhere where they could, and they were torturing them there. First year, the court was American court taking decision that they should let them go. They didn't let them go. The same thing that is happening to.
Sure.
You think anything happened to Bush? Nothing happened. It was only after the government changed and Obama came that Obama closed that Guantanamo. That Guantanamo was there for 8 years, or is it 8 years or 6 years of 6 years? So I'm just trying to say that when issues when there are issues of national security in every country, when it is an issue of national security, there is always the tendency of national governments to say that security overrides citizens' rights. For example, in America, you don't have the right to go and search or listen to citizens. But when terrorism came, when it was the situation of security, national security, all Americans were subjected to, unprecedented violation by not just one American, every American, by security service. People were complaining, people were, court were taking decisions, but they couldn't do anything. Court or no court, because in every country, issues of security is always elevated above the rule of law. When it is security, just like during war. During war also, the security issues supersede rule of law. So, for example, there are some people who went to court and challenged the fact that, American citizens have to be searched, because don't bring water into the airport. But they couldn't do anything. Even the laws couldn't change that. The same thing with people listening. It was later changed during Obama, but it was after they had concluded that the security threat was behind.
Then they brought back
some. But still, up to now, they still have the right to go and listen, to go and... A lot of rights have also been sacrificed just on the altar of security. In this country where we live here, this thing that just happened to Buhari, you live here in this country, there are some members of our church. When I was being accused, firstly, there were two members of our church that were put in prison. Maybe you don't know about it. Okay. So because maybe you are not following Russian news, Ukrainian news that time. So, but these people were put in prison. So the court will take a decision that let them go because they are not convicted. You know what the security service will do? They will open another charge.
They will let them go again.
They will let them go, but as soon as they come out of the courtroom, they arrest them on another count. So they did that like 14 times in Kyiv.
Wow.
They keep on arresting them. So when all the avenues, all the laws they could mention here has been expired, they went to other states. So other states, security service would arrest them. So you have to go to that state. So that state will set them free. The other state will arrest them. And this happened also. Go and study the history of America. Go and study the history of Britain. Go and study the history of Europe. It happens every country when they see that it's a security threat situation. Now, I don't know the information that DSS. I don't know the information they have. They claim that Sowore is working with some foreign forces or power to do something. I don't know what they're doing. But the reason why Buhari cannot intervene is because, I think, maybe they have some sensitive information that they think is going to be detrimental to them, to their government, or to Nigerian state. I find that difficult to believe, personally. I don't think that Sowore wants to do anything to harm the Nigerian state. Yes, maybe it was a mistake for him to have associated himself with Nnamdi Kanu, but I don't think it's more dangerous. It's as dangerous as Nnamdi Kanu. I think Sowore is totally different from Nnamdi Kanu. So I don't know why. I would have liked to hear, and I would like the DSS to come forward with their own arguments. Why should they rearrest him? Why don't they just follow the conditions of the bail and let him just, the lawyer, Femi Falana, has said he would take him under his care. And so why don't they just release him and let Femi Falana stand as a surety for him? Although in Nigeria, with big men, like that's Nnamdi Kanu, the guy who stood as a surety for him, the senator, is, because here in Europe, if you stand as a surety for somebody and the person runs away, you will take the place in prison. You will be in prison. But that guy is giving interview everywhere. He's sitting down there. He's still in the Senate now. It's nothing happened. So things like that could happen in Nigeria, because he's a big man. So, but I don't know why DSS will do that. But the argument they will have is that it is security,
it's a national threat.
National threat. And I don't see that. I don't believe in that personally. I don't think that Sowore poses any national threat that will warrant him to be rearrested, detained forever. I mean, not forever, but to detain again. I would like to know the reason for that. But the fact that this happens in countries, in Germany, in France, in Belgium, in America, in England, if you want, let's go and check. Go and do your research. And I'm going to give you a whole list of proofs that this happens, especially when it is the argument of security. So, but I personally don't believe that Sowore poses any such threat. I don't think Sowore has an army. I don't think Sowore is forming any brigade. I don't think Sowore is having any military intention to use violence to overthrow Nigerian government. I don't think so. I believe Nigeria needs revolution. That's another area where I agree with Sowore. I believe Nigeria needs revolution, but the revolution we need is a revolution of value, revolution of our, structure, of our, system, of our, of virtues, of our whole country. We need to replace the whole country. I agree with them in a lot of things. I don't want to overthrow any, constituted authority, but otherwise I want to overthrow the whole system in terms of values. That's what, so I agree with him, but I differed a little bit with in the sense of political change, because I think even if Sowore himself becomes the president today, Nigeria will not change, because until the value system of the people has changed, until the orientation and belief system of our whole country is changed, until the citizens are changed, the government itself cannot change Nigeria. So, but that is where we have a bit of disagreement, but I don't see Sowore as a big threat like that. I rather see him as an example that must be emulated by young people. And I think that we should have more people like that, like Sowore, that will have the patriotism to risk their lives, to risk their comfort, to sacrifice for the country. Now, but the reason I didn't want to give this,
I was going to say that you ended up giving your answer.
Yeah, I ended up giving the answer. But the reason I didn't want to give the answer is that I was not going to give answer one-sided. That they are bad, something, and why should they do it emotionally the way our people do it? But I was going to do analysis that no, this thing, it has happened before in our history, wars has happened. This kind of violation of rule of law happens in every country. If you live in America, if you want to tell me the truth, you know it happens. And in any other country, especially when it's security situation. In America, last week or last 2 months, they released somebody that was in prison for 14 years. 6 months before that, they released another one that was in prison for 28 years, all unjustly. That is in America. In America, almost every year, they release somebody that is being in prison for 10 years, 14 years, 20 years, not unjustly. But so it happens. These things happen in all countries. But that has even legal problems. But when it comes to security, countries make this problem. They make these assumptions. They presume that they are the defenders of the land. And they have every country have the law of treason. And when anybody is accused of treason, of course, it is, of course, the court is the final decision making. Yeah. But when they think that the person is a threat, the security organs, they don't listen to court. Yeah. They
take action.
Yeah, they take actions independent of the court because they said it is a national security threat. So that's what happens. But I don't think this is the situation with Moshowore. So, but if I answer like this, a lot of people will just take half of the beginning of my talk and just say, okay, is these emotions will just keep on. People will begin to attack you or something. But they don't know that I am giving a full, broad answer to tell you that no, this government is. You don't use this to judge the government as a whole, and you don't use this to say this is the worst government. No. That's number one. Number two, even though I don't agree with what the government is doing, I still see reason that no, we've had it worse. Number three, that I also see that being an international person who has been living in Europe for 33 years and has been following world affairs, I know that this is what governments do. The government is doing this to me right here in Ukraine right now. I have been in court for 10 years for what I didn't do. So this is what governments do. Even though government here in Ukraine also threw my case out of court. Not government, court did. But the government used backdoor to bring it back. So this is what governments do. And they do it not just in Africa or in Eastern Europe. They do it everywhere, unless you have not encountered it. If you have not encountered it, it's good for you, thank God. Make you pray that you never encounter it in America or in England or anywhere else. But they do these things. So that's the third thing I wanted to establish. Yes. Then finally, my own position about it is that I don't see Showore as a security threat. I don't know the information they have. But personally, I think that Showore is a great example for the youth, and we need more people like that. But you see, I will not just come and say one side. I will give a complete, comprehensive analysis. That is where people have problem with me. Because some of them will just take one side and say that, okay, it's for Showore, or it's against Showore, or it's for Buhari, or it's supporting DSS. People want to put me in a box, but I will not be in a box. I'm going to always give a holistic view to it. The way I understand it.
Well, it's interesting because when you said you didn't want to answer, so I was thinking, okay, what would be in the minds of our viewers who are watching, and would they really want to know what your opinion is and all of that? But it's good that you took your time to really give a good picture. I think it communicates the need to think based on cause and effect, and on some of the things, analysis that you're talking about, analytical thinking, critical thinking. Part of the things we talked about last week, why we shouldn't just be like emotional and sentimental, but we must be, Homo sapiens, Homo sapiens, reasoning being to analyze things. I heard we have some callers, right?
Maybe you should,
Okay, so
let's already have. Okay.
Maybe
you should announce how people could call it.
Yeah, so the way to call is to go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, and write to us that you would like to call and contribute to today's discussion. And we'd love to hear from you. Do we have a call already?
Yes,
okay. We're getting them. So these books, you can get them, like as I announced before, you can get them on Amazon Kindle Unlimited for free, or you could order on dsabooksplanet.com. We have a caller already. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you have to listen to us from your device, so you might have to
Put off
your Facebook
or YouTube.
It's gone.
It's gone now. Okay, let's hear your voice then. Who is calling, please, from where?
This is Alfred.
Oh, it's
Long
been a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
DSA and Dr. Anna, how are you guys?
Well, we're working. We're trying our
Just
best.
make sure that your voice is louder.
Loud. Hello?
I'm turning up the TV.
Okay.
And please try to speak louder so we can hear you very well.
Nanivo.
Oh, I'll make it loud as possible. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so good to hear from you both.
Thank you. Good to hear from you too after a long while.
I've been extremely busy.
Yeah.
I followed a whole lot of topics, and it's just so much to talk about. Let me just talk.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to put a headset. The topic today is it's too much. It's just condensed with so much that I don't even know where to start. But my heart really bleeds when I saw the video on people the man of God that was coming.
So,
And,
okay.
yeah.
Sycophancy.
Yeah, I saw the topic sycophancy. I met it halfway, and I was like, okay, it's not psychopath. Which one is sycophancy? you explain it, but we really thank God for the advent of internet. Because when you say some of these things in the past that people are worshiping a man of God, and there was no video evidence, people would think that these are all stuff that has been made up.
Yeah.
But now that we have video evidence, it's a bunch of this you can find online on YouTube. You can name people like Alf Lukar in South Africa.
Yes.
Bunch of people that are just being worshipped, and it's so bad going on. And you just see that when you say that mostly in Africa and some of those places, they don't know God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. And when you make statements like that, everybody will be saying, "Oh, that's an overstatement."
Yeah.
But why would he be saying stuff like that? What does he mean we don't know God? We've been worshiping God. It's the same like in the Bible when Jesus said, "You worship what you know not," and to the woman at the well in John.
Yes.
Samaritan woman. That's the same thing that you could really boldly look at, the situation in Nigeria, and you say, you people don't know what you're worshiping.
Yeah.
Worshiping. And it will sound like an overstatement, but it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And this thing has continued, and things that are, from what you were saying, that I could take out of this is that society, they not only worship the man, but they worship his wealth. And I think you said that in another video, in another program, where you said in the Yoruba culture, if somebody is small, has more wealth than you, you have to bow to them.
Yeah.
Therefore minimizing you as a person, that you really don't have value because you don't have that financial prowess. You don't have it, so you are really nobody. But that's not what God created us to be.
Yeah.
Every single individual, and in the American Constitution, it clearly says that we have a right to be person, to pursue happiness.
Yes.
And then the fact that we all, as human beings, we have a right to exist. We have a right to live, such that you cannot take some people and consider that they are subhumans, in the situation of slave trade when that was going on. So But now we see back in Africa and some of these places how those who have financial wealth are considered to be more than human. And so this has transferred into Christianity, where the man of God now is now considered,
next to God.
Next to God, yeah. He connects you to God. It's through him that your blessings will come. And then when you try to argue stuff like that, people say, no, you are wrong. But that's not how God made it.
Yeah.
Well, when I came over to Ukraine, I was able to, we'll do a whole series on that one.
Yeah.
But I was able to meet with you, and we spent some time, even though the time was too short. But it's amazing how I could have access, and as well as other people too, we could have access to be able to talk with you. But it's not possible in a lot of circles. You cannot really get up and say you want to go meet Bishop Oyedepo, and then you have that kind of access. Or you want to meet the guy, Pastor Adeboye, Daddy Gio. And it just continues. This thing just trickled down. It's a shame that, you said, I didn't see that, but you said there was a video where Johnson Suleiman, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, he, and it's amazing how people are still, these people, with all this amount of information that you already have out there, and people are just still ignorantly, like you're looking at them saying, your life has not changed. This man recently bought an airplane. I don't know if he still has it. My information is not updated. But he recently bought an airplane. Those of you who have been following him, flocking behind him and throwing your monies all around him, as well as all these other people, how has your life changed?
Yeah.
Their lives has no reflection closer to the kind of life these people are living. These people are enjoying their lives. They are enjoying their lives at the expense, the back of some of these people. And look at that video that you show. Those people, two things are happening there. They are there worshiping that man because he's the one that will connect them to God. But they are also worshiping him because of the world that they see. Okay.
Yes.
It's like a Bentley, which is probably an older version. But when they look at all those riches around him, he's worthy, he deserves to be worshipped, which is a clear form of idolatry that people are practicing. It's a shame, it's a humiliation to us as children of God to see stuff like that happen. But a lot of people haven't seen that, from their own point of view. You hear things like you can't stand up and talk to a man of God. You have to be on your knees. These are terrible practices that are happening in some circles. How do I even begin to? There's just so much to talk about this Sunday, about this topic. A couple of days ago, somebody was saying we need to propagate this message to the common man. There is a whole lot that need to occur in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, and among Christianity, to get us to where God wants us to be. Because right now we are practicing religion.
Yes.
The majority of the churches are practicing religion.
Yes.
Jesus came and died for our sins and opened the way for us. But indirectly, people have just substituted the man of God to be now the connection between you and the Savior. And this thing has continued. So, BSA, I just called to say thanks for this program. It's just a lot to talk about. I could go on and on and on. But I want to give room for the others too. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Blessings. Bye.
Blessings.
Thank you very much for that, Pastor Alfred. Well,
you were commenting on the show, answer.
I was commenting on it, and your holistic answer. I think it should give even a clearer perspective to people who really are interested. When you were about to start your response, you said you're not sure if people want to know your response, and I would like to agree with that, because most people ask questions to either
for you to support
them.
I think we have a caller.
Okay, hello caller.
Hello, good evening.
Is that Pastor Tuka?
Pastor Uche.
Oh, Pastor Uche. How so similar voices?
It's because Pastor Uche has been calling recently.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah, so my voice has become high. Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Anu.
Good evening, sir.
How are you people today? Hope you are fine. Thank you for another nice topic today.
Okay.
Yes. How can we uproot psychophancy from our psychic? How could we change the nation? I want to say that it all started with teaching.
Yes.
What we pass down to the people. I have been speaking to a lot of people recently, and when you finish having word with them, they seem to understand what you are saying. And then, few days later, you will see them just slide back into the normal routine. So these things to look like kind of rat glue. You know rat glue. You glue the hand, you glue the leg, the leg, and then you manage to remove. And then the hand with which you remove the glue stuck into it.
Yes.
So some of the teaching people can't really get out of it because they've been soaked into it. They've been immersed into it. It becomes part of them. And with time, I think our people will catch up.
Amen.
The church itself has played a major role. I don't talk about Islam because I'm not a Muslim. I can only speak with the parts that affect me. I'm sure the Lord will let somebody.
That's true.
That's true. Of the talk. Yeah. So I know some people say, "Why is it you people keep on talking about the church? Why don't you talk about it?" Well, I'm not a Muslim. I've seen in Nigeria you are sitting in a bus. And that bus your driver is driving rough. And then the people inside your bus, they are fighting the other driver who doesn't hear you. The driver cannot hear you. No complaints you make would the driver understand. I said, why are you talking to the other driver? Talk to your own driver. He's the one carrying you. He's the one that is driving you. Speak to the person here that can listen to you, that can adjust his driving. That is the way it is. I'm not going to talk about Islam or people outside. I will only talk about the church.
Yes.
Because we are complicit in this whole issue. When we started to dismantle the unity of the body and begin to have one unitary system of one leader. It wasn't so. It wasn't so from the beginning. I was speaking to somebody earlier today, the pastor. I said, listen, when you read the scripture, it talks about, is there any sick among you? Let him call upon. He didn't say call upon the pastor.
Oh.
He said, let him call upon the elders. So it wasn't the pastor's duty to come in and lay his hand and deliver. It was the elders.
Yes.
I said, even when Paul wrote to Timothy, he said, by the laying hand of the presbyters you receive the gift. It wasn't by the laying hand of one man you receive it.
Yes.
It was the hand of the presbyters.
Yes.
So all these things, if you go through the scripture, you will see it is always people laying their hands, not one person laying their hand. Now it is one man.
One man show.
Who will stand at the top of the pyramid and then be dripping oil in the hand of people. Everybody will grab it and rub on their forehead. I will just sit there and say, what is going on? Have we lost it? So it is the church, the desire to be Lord.
Yes.
The word of Jesus keep ringing. He says, Jesus called his disciples together and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them.
Yes.
And the high official exercise authority over them. It shall not be this way among you. But our pastors have eliminated this, they dismantle it. No. That the word of Jesus is not relevant in this case. I want to be Lord. Anywhere we are Gentiles, I think maybe that's the reason. Gentiles always have it in their side, they have it built in them to be Lord. They want to be ruler, they want to be everything, they want somebody to carry their bag, they want somebody to answer them, sir, and the rest of it. But I'm thinking that what we are doing, what you are doing, and the few of us that are in all the diverse places, contributing, sharing the messages, talking to people, some will get it.
Amen.
And
Amen.
with time, our people will begin to realize that it doesn't pay to become someone else's pulpit.
Yes.
The church is all about us. It's not about one individual, not one person that we can pay obeisance to. But at the moment, that is what we're having. But we are working, and if we don't get tired, I'm sure someday we will smile.
Amen.
Like I said the last time, I said, if we didn't finish it, our children will continue. And those we raise up will continue. There is no stopping.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The Lord bless you for what you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Not a
Pastor.
small call. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir. Before you speak, Pastor, Doctor, I want to use this opportunity to say a word of condolence to South African Christians. The Christians in South Africa lost a gospel artist, a gospel musician, a worshiper that just died this week. His name is Pastor Neyi Zimo. Neyi Zimo. So if you are a South African, you probably know about the death of Pastor Neyi Zimo. And you're probably aware of that, and I want to pass my condolences to, because it's a very influential worshiper, it's a very influential pastor worshiper. He's changed a lot of lives, influenced, he's one of their leading gospel artists in South Africa, and also he's a pastor. He has great respect, great authority, and so it's like the country lost. Who is the leader? Who is the the guy that sings in Nigeria that day?
Nathaniel Bassi.
Yeah. Is that the leader? Is that
he's one of the top guys.
The top guy. Yeah. It's like someone like that dying in Nigeria. Wow. It will be a loss, isn't it?
Of course, to the body of Christ.
Yeah. So that's why I want to use this time to say a word of condolence to the brothers and sisters in South Africa. So if you are watching now, or if you know anybody in South Africa, maybe we should cut out this part to be able to say a word of condolence to them and post it for South African brethren. Then we know that Pastor Neyi Zimo has gone on to be with the Lord, and he has run a good race. He served the Lord with a great zeal and example. And we are all going on to be with him soon.
That's right.
So he'll be waiting there, receiving all of us with his gifts of praise and worship with the angels. Now he's singing with the angels. Anyway, so South African brethren, condolences to you. So maybe in case anybody still wants to call, we want to announce to them.
Yeah, I think that's the final call that we got.
Maybe we should still give people opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, so the opportunity is there. If you would like to contribute, you like to call, the way to do that is to go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agent, and write to us, register your intent that you like to call, and then we can receive your call. So we would give some few more minutes for that. So if you're interested, please do that, and let's hear from you. All of the books that I announced earlier, the Elijah Challenge, No One Is Better Than You. You could get, if you're in Nigeria, you could order the book, the books by going to dsabooksplanet.com, dsabooksplanet.com. And also, you could subscribe to Amazon Kindle Unlimited to get these books. So while we are waiting, anyone who would like to call, today's topic we devoted to talking about psychophancy and subserviency, but about uprooting psychophancy and subservience from the Nigerian psyche. So if you just joined us, you're joining at the very end of the program. So what I would like to encourage you to do is to actually share this video. If you share it on your timeline, you'll be able to come back to watch it. And you could, if you're on YouTube watching us, you can subscribe to Dr. Sunday's channel and also click on the bell icon, and that's how you can get notified for future videos. And if you want to watch this episode again, what you need to do is to go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel. That is Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube. Just go to search for the playlists Fixing Nigeria, and then you can see you would see this episode and also previous episodes on Fixing Nigeria. So I don't know if we have any caller. All right, so we don't have a caller right now. Well, thank you so much for being with us on this episode on Fixing Nigeria. We're here every Friday, 7 p.m. Kyiv time. That is 5 p.m. UK time, I think 6 p.m. Nigerian time. So join us next week by the grace of God. We will be analyzing another vice in the Nigerian culture. We're going to be talking about the devastating effects, the origin, and how to resolve it. So
Origin?
The origin and the source of
the solution.
Yeah, and then the solution. Yeah, so that's what we're going to get. So thank you for being with us. My name is Anu Ojo, and Dr. Sunday will be rounding up.
Yeah, well, I just want to encourage everybody, if you know people in Nigeria, who do you think are under this culture of psychophancy, let them read this book. No one is better than you, because really no one is better than them. Mm-hmm. We just need to have them knowing that no one is better than them.
That's right.
Same with this. And then if you know other people who want to be revolutionaries and bring about change, somebody will say like Showore, they don't want to be like Showore, but they want to go to prison. You don't have to go to prison. Showore is because of political activism. Yeah. His own is political. But we all need to bring about not just political change, but also social change, economic change, and spiritual change. So that's when you will need this other book, Elijah Challenge. So that is for people who really want to bring about change. If you want to be a part of change, you want to bring about change, that book, Elijah Challenge, will be, it will equip you and inspire you to be able to step out for something you believe in and bring about a difference. But for Showore, we are praying for him. My prayers are with him and his family, that God will strengthen them and strengthen him too, and bring him out of this trial safely, stronger, and a better man, and elevated to be able to do what God has called him to do.
Thank you. See you next week.
Peace. So